What are non-access modifiers? Non-access modifiers are keywords that modify the behavior of classes, methods, variables and other program elements but do not control their accessibility. They are final, static, synchronized, abstract, volatile, transient and strict FP. Which data types are allowed in switch statement? Switch statement allows only the following data types. They are byte, short, int, char, string and enum. Why is the string class immutable? The string class is immutable so that once it is created, a string object cannot be changed. Since string is immutable, it can safely be shared between many threads, which is considered very important for multi-threaded programming. What is the difference between StringBuffer and StringBuilder class? StringBuffer is thread safe while StringBuilder is non-thread safe. StringBuffer is synchronized while StringBuilder is non-synchronized. StringBuffer is available since Java version 1.0 while StringBuilder is available since Java version 1.5. StringBuffer is comparatively slower than StringBuilder, which is faster. What is called a finalize method? It is possible to define a method that will be called just before an object's final destruction by the garbage collector. This method is called finalize method. This finalize method can also be used to ensure that an object terminates cleanly. What is an error? An error refers to a serious and unrecoverable problem that occurs at runtime, typically resulting in the termination of the program. Errors in Java are instances of the java.lang.error class or its subclasses. What are the common types of error? They are out of memory error, stack overflow error, no class def found error, linkage error and assertion error. What is an exception? An exception refers to the unexpected event that occurs during the execution of a program, disturbing the normal flow of execution. What are the different types of exceptions? The different types of exceptions are checked exceptions, otherwise called compile time exceptions, and unchecked exceptions, otherwise called runtime exceptions. What are checked exceptions? An exception that is typically a user error or a problem that cannot be foreseen by the programmer. For example, if a file is to be opened but the file cannot be found, an exception occurs. In general, the problems that are caught during compile time are called checked or compile time exceptions. What are runtime exceptions? An exception that occurs only during the runtime. For example, an object that is expected to have a value to process the input data but is actually null. In general, the problems that are caught during runtime are called unchecked or runtime exceptions. What is the use of finally keyword in exception handling? The finally keyword is used to create a block of code that follows a try block. A finally block of code always executes whether or not an exception has occurred. When do you use throws keyword? If a method does not handle a checked exception, the method must declare it using the throws keyword. The throws keyword appears at the end of a method's signature. When do you use throw keyword? An exception can be thrown, either a newly instantiated one or an exception that you just caught by using throw keyword. Define inheritance. Inheritance is a process where one object acquires the properties of another. Using inheritance, the information is made manageable in a hierarchical fashion. When do you use super keyword? If the method overrides one of its superclasses methods, the overridden method can be invoked by using the super keyword. The super keyword can also be used to refer to the hidden field. Define thread. Thread refers to a lightweight process. Thread is a unit of execution that allows concurrent execution of multiple parts of a program. Thread is a separate path of execution within a program, enabling different tasks or operations to be performed simultaneously. How a thread is created. Thread can be created in two ways, either by implementing runnable interface or by extending the thread class. What are the different states of a thread? When the thread is created, it is called new state. When the thread is eligible for execution and can be scheduled by the thread scheduler, it is called runnable state. When the thread starts executing its task or run method, it is called running state. When the thread is waiting for a monitor locked to enter a synchronized block or waiting for an I/O operation to complete, it is called blocked state. When the thread is waiting indefinitely for a specific condition to occur, it is called waiting state. When the thread waits for a specific condition but with a timeout period specified, it is called timed waiting state. When the thread's run method completes execution or when an uncaught exception occurs within the thread, it is called terminated state. What is multithreaded program? A multithreaded program contains two or more parts that can run concurrently. Each part of such a program is called a thread, and each thread defines a separate path of execution.